welcome to Burr and Forman's 2024 celebration of Nowruz, or Persian New Year. Known as the New Day in Farsi, Nowruz marks the first day of the Iranian calendar and spring. Although the pronunciation of Nowruz may vary by country, this holiday dates back over 3,000 years and is commemorated worldwide by around 300 million people. In a moment, we will hear about the traditions and foods associated with Nowruz celebrations. But first, let's talk about why we are mentioning Nowruz here in the United States. Throughout the United States, the holiday is often memorialized in museums, cultural centers, and with festivals. The U.S. experienced its first major wave of Iranian immigrants in the years immediately preceding the 1979 Islamic Revolution. At that time, U.S. immigration law prioritized family reunification, allowing many Iranians already settled in America to bring over their family members. Between 1978 and 1980, more than 35,000 Iranians arrived in the U.S. In 2020, for the first time, the U.S. Census allowed Americans to write in their ethnic and racial identity, and more than 568,000 individuals identified as Iranian-American. It is also important to mention that the term Iranian is sometimes used interchangeably with Persian, due to the fact that until 1935 in the Western world, Iran was known as Persia. California is home to perhaps the largest portion of people of Iranian ancestry in the United States. For the past 4 decades, Los Angeles has been a significant hub, with a population of roughly 138,000 Iranians. And while specific data for the Southeast region is limited, research indicates that younger first-generation Iranians between the ages of 25 and 34 have been more likely than their older counterparts to immigrate to states within Burr's footprint, as well as the Midwest. In Georgia, the Persian Cultural Center of Atlanta was established in 1989 to support a growing number of Iranian-American residents, and they host the annual Atlanta Persian Festival. Here to describe a personal experience of Nowruz, I'm joined by Niki Nourollahi. Niki works in our Atlanta office as part of the Corporate and Tax Practice Group. As an Iranian-American fluent in Farsi and a frequent visitor to Iran, Niki brings a rich cultural perspective to our discussion. Growing up, Niki celebrated Nowruz with her family each year and has given educational presentations about the holiday. She is passionate about sharing her culture and learning about others, believing that an open-minded approach to the diverse cultural nuances within America fosters meaningful and impactful connections. Welcome, Niki. We look forward to hearing your presentation.
Thank you so much, Tamika. I'm so happy to be here and share about Nowruz, and I can't wait to get into it. So I will start my slideshow now and speak a little bit more about Nowruz. Okay, so as you see, this is the Persian New Year celebration, like Tamika explained, which is also the Iranian celebration of New Year. So what is Nowruz in the first place? So as Tamika explained, it means new day, and it is our new year, or the first day of spring, and marks the beginning of the Iranian calendar. It's celebrated on the spring equinox, which usually occurs around March 19th to March 21st. This year, it happens tomorrow on Tuesday, the 19th, and it happens around, I think for Eastern, it will be around 9 p.m. tomorrow evening. So I will be celebrating with my family, but traditionally the whole day is very much celebrated. So the Persian culture goes back many, many centuries, as the Persian Empire was the originator of this holiday. So Nowruz is definitely a secular celebration for the most part. It was rooted in Zoroastrianism, which is an ancient Persian religion that predates Islam as well as Christianity. And the term Nowruz first appeared in writing as early as the 2nd century AD, and it was also celebrated even earlier during the times of 55 to 330 BCE, where kings from different nations would bring the Persian emperor gifts on Nowruz as a symbol of respect and celebration. And so this has been passed down for hundreds of thousands of years, and we continue to celebrate this ancient holiday today. So around the world, Nowruz is celebrated by more than 300 million people, and as well as the United States formally recognizing Nowruz as an international holiday in 2010. And many US presidents have also recognized Nowruz, including President Obama, President Biden, as well as others. And recently, it's been more exciting that there have been formal statements, there have been celebrations, and so it seems like the world is recognizing Nowruz more formally and across the board than they have before, which feels great to be included, given that there is a big population of Nowruz celebrators right outside of Iran and everywhere else. So some of the traditions that come along with this exciting holiday is around spring cleaning. So these start about the beginning of March. Given that Nowruz is usually between the 19th and the 21st, usually the beginning of March, you'll start spring cleaning your home. And that will be not just a regular clean, deep cleaning. So as you see in this photo, many Iranians will even clean their Persian rugs, and they will go in on cleaning everything to have good luck and celebration for the new year, as if clearing the air so that you can start new. It's also customary to visit friends and family, bringing gifts, sweets, flowers, and many other things to celebrate being with each other and celebrating the new year. Along with these traditions is a holiday called Charshanbe Suri, and this is the Eve of Bread Wednesday, and it usually occurs the last Tuesday before Nowruz, so that would have been last week. And what people do is build public bonfires around. In Iran, they do it in the cities, on the streets, and it's a big celebration. And here in the United States, I have done it in backyards or on streets in the neighborhood or at celebrations. And the purpose is jumping over the fire, like you see in this photo. And it's to cleanse away the past year and use this fire to bring a new light to your new year and let go of what's been happening in the past. So it's a very symbolic and positive thing for families. As you see, there's lots of people crowded over here, and it's a really fun tradition and exciting too to jump over the fire. So this is the main display of Nowruz. It is called the Haft-Seen, which means literally 7 S's. Haft is 7 in Farsi, and seen is the word for S. So this is 7 S's that symbolize hope and different meanings for the new year. And as you can see here, this is a photo of typical Haft-Seens with the different elements, and I'm going to get into that in the next slide. So the 7 S's all begin with S in Farsi. So sabzeh is number 1, and that is wheatgrass for rebirth, renewal, and good fortune. And what I think is very interesting about this is that you start to grow your own wheatgrass at the beginning of the month when everything is starting to be prepared. And so for our presentation in Atlanta, my mother actually started growing for my presentation at the beginning of this month. And so it has sprouted and it's ready. And so for those in Atlanta, you will see the sprouted grass for rebirth, renewal, and good fortune. And senjet is a different kind of dried fruit that is from the lotus tree, ideally, and it is symbolizing love. And so this is a Persian fruit that is common, and so we have it, and we use that to garner some love for the new year. Sib means apple, and that is for beauty and health. Seer means garlic for medicine and taking care of yourself and staying healthy. Samanu is a sweet type of pudding that is traditional in Persian culture, and it is used for wealth, fertility, and to have sweetness in your life. Serke means vinegar, and that is for patience and wisdom that comes with aging. And so that goes along with visiting your family, hearing stories, and it's all about a celebration of new life and honoring past lives. And sumac, which is a Persian spice made from crushed sour berries, and this is for the celebration of sunrise and new days. And if you've ever been to a Persian restaurant, normally sumac is the kind of sweet and sour, dried red powder that they will give you as a condiment to use with your meat. So maybe some of you guys have already tried it. And the table will also typically include extra things such as a mirror to symbolically reflect the past year, painted eggs to represent fertility, and a goldfish that would represent new life, as well as candles for light and happiness. And people actually have a real live goldfish in a bowl on their table. And in the past, when I have made my own Haft-Seen without having a goldfish, I have used the goldfish crackers to symbolically represent the goldfish on my Haft-Seen. So I think that it's the way everybody has their own version of a Haft-Seen, but it's really the way that you do it and your twist and all of the meanings in your own life and your interpretation. So this is all of the elements again, and these are actually my nephews, Cameron and Keon, last year at their Haft-Seen that my sister created. And as you can see, there are many spring flowers like tulips, and there's the sabzeh in the middle, as well as the eggs and all of the elements like the apple and the garlic and the mirror. So they set it up like that, and everybody has their own twist and beautiful representation of how they want to celebrate their Haft-Seen and Nowruz with their families. Okay, so what about the food? I'm sure if you haven't heard about Persian culture or Persian traditions or holidays, surely maybe you've heard of the food. And so meals on Nowruz center on greens and herbs to represent the overall continuing theme of freshness and renewal. And so the centerpiece is usually sabzi polo ba mahi. And on this screen, you will see the rice that has a golden top, and that is sabzi polo, which means it's like a herb rice. And then mahi is just like mahi mahi, fish. And so the mahi is normally stuffed with, it's usually some kind of white fish. And we even have a traditional dish called mahi shikampur, which means fish with a stuffed belly. And that's what you see on this screen is a fish with pomegranates and berries and herbs, and it's just delicious with this herb rice. And then also there is a dish called kuku sabzi, which is on the bottom, and that is kind of like a frittata with eggs and many different herbs, sometimes walnuts, sometimes berries. It's just delicious. And so this whole theme is about eating fresh and healthy and nourishing your body with all of the green gifts from spring. And finally, I want to bring a call of action if you're in the Atlanta area or perhaps in your city. There is an Atlanta Persian Festival coming up in April. It's going to be Sunday, April 7th from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. at Piedmont Park. And you can go there to learn more about Nowruz, the Persian culture, as well as meet other Persian vendors of art, music, performances, and many different crafts and activities for families to enjoy. It's not just Persians, there are many people there. Think Dogwood Festival in Atlanta or any other big festivals with lots of tents and food and enjoyment. And the weather will likely be beautiful. So I hope you guys can make it out. I will be there with my family. And I loved explaining Nowruz with the firm. And I'm so thankful to have the opportunity to share my culture and learn about everyone else's here as well.
Thank you so much, Niki. This was wonderful to learn about, and that food looked amazing, very enticing. So we won't quite have that spread here in Atlanta, but we're going to have a beautiful display, and I look forward to seeing that, and we'll try to get photos so that we can send it out to the rest of the firm so people can get to see what it looks like. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We really do try to be very inclusive here at Burr and Forman of everyone's culture and background. So thank you again for sharing with us.
Thank you so much, Tamika. It's my absolute pleasure.
Take care, everyone.